When did you start playing women's footy?
I started playing footy when I was 9, and then that was with the junior boys. And then I was told at the age of 11 that I couldn't anymore. So I went away and played basketball till I was 19, and then just had to go back and find a team because I missed it that much.
So were there any opportunities at all to play women's footy at this stage?
There was, I just didn't know about it. So I played it through school, and yeah, just played like a higher level basketball. And then when I sort of heard that it was, getting bigger and happening, I went and found a club and started playing again.
And was there any media coverage of the women's footy whilst you were a teenager growing up?
No, that's why I had no idea if there were women's teams. I didn't know that if there was a youth league or anything at that stage. I'm not sure if there was, but yeah, it wasn't really talked about at all.
And now playing footy, what's it really mean to you getting this opportunity?
It's something I had always dreamed of. When I was younger, I would say to my mum that all I wanted to do was play AFL, and for that to be my job. And she was pretty blunt with me and said it would never happen. But then, fast forward to now, and I just finished a season with the Western Bulldogs. So yeah, it's pretty special.
And what's the experience like playing on live television?
Well, I had sort of done that before the AFL season with the exhibition matches, and it was definitely different. You sort of look up at the screen to check the score, and then find that a camera's found you, and it sort of looks like you're looking at yourself. So there were definitely things that you needed to adjust to, and then just random people knowing who you are is something that we're not used to. And I think that the professionalism just had to go up and up and up, and yeah, it was something you really had to adapt to.
Now, you touched on some sort of level of fame now. What's it like being a role model for the young girls?
I love it. I love kids. I've been doing some little coaching stuff with an interleague down in Frankston and the Yarra Junior, and I just think that we had people that were always giving to us as we were coming through the ranks of football, and I just want to give that back and just help this grow. And I think the next generation of female footy players are going to be out of this world.
So in the next, say, 10 years, where do you think the AFL level will reach for women?
It's pretty endless, really, I guess. I think that, the aim is to have it more mirroring the men's league, to get more and more sponsors on board and have a longer season and, pay the players more of what they should be getting paid. So, yeah, I think that, it started in the right direction, and it's just about keeping the ball rolling that way.
And finally, as far as the media coverage is concerned, where would you like it to be in the next couple of years?
I'm not too fussed with if I'm sort of in front of a microphone. I want to do what I can to expand the game. So if anything like that, came my way, then so be it. But at the moment, I'm just happy concentrating on footy and just doing whatever I can for this amazing club, the Eastern Devils, and hopefully going back to the Doggies and playing some more AFL footy.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for your time.
Not a problem. Thanks.
When did you first start playing women's football?
I started playing in 2002, so I'd finished high school and actually came down to the Devils. We were known as the Deakin Devils back then, and I played for 13 years, and then I actually retired, and I'm coming back out of retirement this year.
So what were the opportunities like for you back then to find a path through women's football?
There wasn't much of a pathway back then. The highest, level we could play at was the state level. So that was a week away with the Victorian side playing all the other states.
And was there any media coverage of these sort of events of women's football?
No, like every now and then there might be an article in the local paper, but that was about it. Back then I used to get asked, women's football, is that soccer or AFL? Then I used to get asked, can you tackle? Does it hurt to mark the ball on your chest? So no one really knew that there was a women's league about.
Yeah. So it's obviously come such a long way. What's it like to play on live television now?
Yeah, that was amazing. I guess it's really come in leaps and bounds. Before this season, there were a couple. I think there was one televised match, but to have all our games televised was just out of this world. I'm a school teacher, so I'd have kids, come up to me in the schoolyard and say, "Oh, I saw you on TV on the weekend, miss," and that was pretty surreal.
So, as a teacher and just in general, there's some sort of fame for you now. What's it like being a role model to these young kids?
I wouldn't say I'm famous because I'm a little bit older and less unknown and not one of those big players. But to be a role model for the students is awesome. My school's actually a sporting school, so we have female AFL athletes, and for them to have myself, and we've also got another teacher at the school who played for Bulldogs, is something really good for them.
And what's the opportunity like for you? What's it mean to you to play footy now?
Having retired and coming back to footy, I find anything now is a bonus. Like, I feel so lucky to have been able to pull on the boots in AFLW. I thought I never would have got that chance. It would have been too many years away and the game would have gone past me. So, yeah, I just feel really lucky anything that comes my way.
And where do you see the game going in the next 10 or so years?
It'll really expand. I'm hoping to see that it'll be a full season, not just 7 games, but grow in terms of the number of teams. I think there's already talks of introducing new teams next season, and with the TAC Cup of the females coming through, the talent is going to be there. So hopefully they'll have a winter season running in conjunction with the men, and there'll be a lot more clubs.
And as far as the media coverage goes, would you like to see more games televised with the men's, or how do you think that will head?
I think initially the AFL was really smart, putting it in a time frame where Aussie sport was a bit quiet. I mean, the Australian Open had finished, cricket was finishing, AFL men hadn't quite started, so we really had, peak viewing time for sport.
All right, beautiful. Thanks very much for your time. Really
No
appreciate
worries.
it. So when did you first start playing women's footy?
I first started playing women's footy probably in 2003, so a little while back, and the standard of footy and the calibre of players dramatically changed in the space of 14, 15 years. So it's been a while.
So what were the opportunities like and the pathways for you back then?
Yeah, back then it was pretty much the highest you could get to was playing for Victoria, which obviously was a massive honour. But after that was basically it. So. The opportunities available now for the girls. The pathway is 100% complete from Auskick all the way up, and I think that'll hold the game in good stead.
And was there any sort of media coverage of your events or anything like that as far as women's footy is concerned?
Probably more so just in the local newspapers, the leader newspapers. So you just maybe have an occasional article here and there if we pushed hard enough to get it in there. But obviously you see how much coverage is happening now, and you've got regular faces on the Channel 7 and everything like that. So yeah.
So what's the opportunity like to play on live television now?
Oh, look, it's pretty incredible, but you don't really notice it until you look at the replay, I guess. So it's a pretty special thing to be able to do and to say that you've done. But with that comes a lot of scrutiny as well, which is replays and slow-mo replays and a lot of negative feedback too.
And so being in the public eyes, you're now a role model for a lot of young kids. How's that for you?
Oh, that's probably the most important thing to me, to be able to have an influence on a younger person's life. That's I guess the power of the AFL women's competition and women's sport in general, is that you can actually influence people now and influence their lives, and that's a pretty amazing position to be in, but a massive responsibility too.
And what's the opportunity now mean to you getting to play football like never before, really?
Oh, look, it means that your dream has finally come true. I guess growing up, you always wanted to play AFL football, but the pathway was never there and the opportunity was never there because you're a girl. So to be able to have that dream and actually make it reality, it's a pretty great world that we live in now.
And where do you see the game going in the next 10 or so years?
Oh, you don't really want to put a roof on it, but look, it could become a fully professional competition in this. It could become it in the space of 5 years, but that's sort of where I see it heading, because the interest is there and the participation rates obviously increased since the start of AFLW.
And so where do you think the media coverage could reach? Would you like to see all games televised before the men's during winter? How about that?
Oh, look, I think that's the natural progression. So, every game to be televised would be the aim, and a lot of people love going to footy games to watch the curtain raisers. So why not make that the women's game?
Beautiful. Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Cheers.